Hi guys, welcome back to Aunt Susie's Kitchen. We are literally in my kitchen today. So I wanted to talk really quick about what's going on here in the East Coast. We are experiencing some really nice mild weather, and my biggest concern is that we're gonna get a frost before I can get all of my herbs harvested. So what I did tonight was I went ahead and I did just that. I harvested whatever I could, and I'm going to preserve whatever I can so I have it over the winter. So let's take a look at what we've got going on over here. So I have got some basil that was left. I grew two kinds of basil this year. I grew regular Italian basil, which you recognize here, as well as some beautiful Thai basil. And I just love the flowers on Thai basil. They're purple, and in the summertime when they're in the yard, they really add to the landscape when those purple flowers come into bloom, and then they have little light purple flowers that will grow on them, much like regular Italian basil does. And those flowers, once they're done blooming, let them dry out on top, and then you can actually pick them off, and the seeds are in there. So you save them. I literally will pull them off and then drop them right back down into the pot where they're growing. And then next season, they start growing back on their own. Here I have, my absolute favorite. These are chives. Chives are perennial, so they come back year after year. They're one of my favorite herbs. I love them in eggs, and just about anything else I make. Potatoes, of course. There's so many uses for them, but eggs are my absolute favorite way to have them. Here is a very large amount of lavender. Again, I'm going to dry this out because once the weather changes and the first frost hits, all of these herbs would have definitely crystallized because they have a lot of water content and they wouldn't have been any good anymore. So I kind of pulled them maybe prematurely, but I don't know. I feel like that first frost can come when you least expect it. I have here some green onion, or some scallion, whatever you call them. My rosemary, I am not having much luck with my rosemary. This is all I could pull off of an entire bush, and even then it's a little sad looking, but I'm still going to try to dry it and save it because there's nothing like that fresh taste of rosemary, especially around Thanksgiving. I have a few hot peppers left, not many, but again, I didn't want them to perish, so I picked them, even though they're not really ripened. I'd rather have them at this stage than have them get, killed by a frost. And then, of course, my absolute favorite, and this is cilantro. And I wanted to show you one of the reasons why I love cilantro, other than the flavor, of course, is the fact that it really will propagate itself season after season. So these are the seeds that are starting to grow. I don't know if you can see these here. And when they get a little bit dried out, not only do they offer the most packed amount of cilantro flavor, they're also known as coriander once they're in seed like this. But you can also pull them off once they've dried. Again, throw them right back inside the dirt. And I can get 2 or 3 harvests a year out of one cilantro. I'm going to say bush because you see what it grows into. And the stems are probably the most fragrant. I like to use the stems, in falafel or in a lot of dishes where you can chop them really, really finely and they'll get lost. They won't be so fibrous that way. And the flowers are really pretty too. Again, they add to the landscape, and I put these in raised pots on my deck, and they just look really nice. Now, this is something that I harvested that not a lot of people are familiar with, and you're probably looking at it thinking, is that a pile of cigarette butts? And it's really not. I'll give you a little hint. That's a marigold. I have these growing all over my deck. They are a great accompaniment flower to grow with your vegetables, meaning that they ward away a lot of bugs. They say if you grow tomatoes, you should absolutely grow marigold near them because it keeps the bugs away. And so these are the heads, which is this part right here. And what'll happen when they die is that they'll shrivel up, they'll get brown. This whole piece will get brown. And then all I do at the end of the season is I just go and pull them off. And these are the seeds. So these little sticks here are what I'm going to plant back in the ground next year. And many of them have fallen on their own back into the containers where I grew them. And they will germinate on their own without really much more than a little bit of water and sun when the season changes and the winter is over, and they'll live all winter. But these I pulled so I can bring them to other places and plant them in other beds. So that's it. I just wanted to share that with you. Like I said, this is what's going on here in Jersey. I know that a frost can come at any time, and I don't want to lose these precious herbs because there is nothing better than herbs right from your garden. You can buy a bunch of cilantro tomorrow and it will never be as fragrant as the one you're going to grow yourself and pick fresh right before you use. So that's it, guys. Thanks for coming by and seeing me. Hope you'll come by again because there's always something good cooking and growing in Aunt Susie's kitchen.